How's it going, everyone? This is Mike, and I'm back for my first video of the year 2018. And Happy New Year. I'd like to start off by doing a list of my top 5 favorite films from 2017. Okay? And I'm doing a little experimenting with the lighting in my room here, so let's see how it works out. I have no idea. Okay, so starting off with a film called The Lovers, starring Deborah Winger and Tracy Letts as a married couple named Mary and Michael. They've been married for a long time. They have a grown son who's in college. And these people, they still live together, and they even sleep in the same bed together for whatever reason. But they are totally apart in their marriage. And both of them, they have no passion for each other whatsoever. And they are both cheating with other people, and both of the people they're cheating with are a lot younger than they are. Younger man, younger woman. And both of them are making plans to eventually leave the marriage and go off with their new partners. Well, so while all this is going on, one night these two people fall asleep, of course, in the same bed together. And then they wake up in the morning and they've turned towards each other, and they are very, very close. And all of a sudden they just, whoa, open up their eyes, and there they are, and they kiss each other, and all of a sudden they have this mad passion. And they start acting like they just met, like a couple of teenagers in love, and they have this mad, passionate affair with each other within their marriage, even though they are planning to leave the marriage. So in essence, they are cheating on the people they are cheating with each other, which is really crazy. There's a lot of funny stuff in the movie as they try to maneuver these strange little secret meetings with each other so that their boyfriend, girlfriend won't find out. And it's very exciting. They're just enjoying themselves immensely. And after a while, it gets very dramatic when the son comes home, and we find out a lot more about this marriage and this family dynamic, and how, well, a lot of reasons that led to the estrangement between the husband and wife. But still, it's a very enjoyable film. A lot of very unexpected things happened. Did not end the way I thought it was going to, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. And it was great to see a couple of older people living that kind of passionate existence. It was really, I don't know, a lot of fun. And Deborah Winger is terrific. It's good to see her back in top form again. Tracy Letts is a very good actor that I'd never heard of until this movie. And then he is also in another great movie from 2017, which is still playing, a movie called Lady Bird. He plays Lady Bird's father. This is a teenage girl who's going through a very troubled time, and he plays her father. He's very, very good at it. So The Lovers. All right. Second film that I recommend from that year is Logan Lucky. Terrific film directed by Steven Soderbergh, who I read that he came out of retirement to do this movie. It's kind of interesting. Great cast of actors. We have Channing Tatum, Adam Driver, Riley Keough, who happens to be the granddaughter of Elvis Presley. They're all members of the Logan family. Channing is named Jimmy. Adam Driver's name is Clyde, and the girl's name is Melly. And Channing Tatum plays a blue-collar worker, a construction worker, who happens to be employed at the Charlotte, Virginia Motor Speedway. And he gets laid off from his job. He's very desperate. And he and his brother and some other folks, they come up with this bizarre plan to pull off a heist at the Charlotte Motor Speedway and break into their safe, which apparently is guarded almost like it's the crown jewels. And they come up with this really outrageous plan. And getting involved in this is also a safecracker named Joe Bang, played by Daniel Craig, who is really terrific in this movie. Katie Holmes plays Bobby Jo Chapman. She is Channing Tatum's ex-wife and the mother of their little girl. It also has Dwight Yoakam, Hilary Swank, Seth MacFarlane. Very, very good film. I mean, this is really a terrific movie. It has a lot of comedy, but it also has kind of a serious look at the plight of blue-collar workers and people living in the South who are going through economic hardship. And it has a lot of poignant moments in it. And it also has been making a lot of money. It made something like $47.3 million as of now. So it's a big success. Logan Lucky. I really liked it. The next movie up is one of my favorites for the year. This is The Disaster Artist, which of course I think is still playing in most places now. A very successful film, directed by and starring James Franco, who plays film director and actor Tommy Wiseau, who was well known, at least for a lot of people, and more well known after this movie for being the creator of a terrific movie called The Room, which of course Tommy Wiseau made as a dramatic film, and it ended up being one of the funniest movies ever made, which of course was not his intention, but he's still raking in the money. Anyway, The Disaster Artist is the name of a book written by Greg Sestero, who worked with Tommy Wiseau on this film. He was the co-star, and he was talking about his experiences as the actor in the film and also getting to know Tommy Wiseau very well. It's a terrific movie. Dave Franco plays Greg Sestero. Seth Rogen is also in it. It's just a very, very funny and fascinating film. It's a look at sort of the underworld of Hollywood, the people who don't quite make it to the top, and they're clawing to get there, and will probably do anything to get there. But it's really very funny, and I think that even if you're not a big fan of the Franco brothers, and I know a lot of people aren't, I think you might enjoy this film. Okay, and it helps if you've seen The Room, but not necessarily. You can probably enjoy it anyway. My number two film is a beautiful English film called My Cousin Rachel, directed by Roger Michell, and this, of course, is based on a novel by Daphne du Maurier, which came out in 1951, filmed previously in 1952, starring Olivia de Havilland and Richard Burton. This version stars Rachel Weisz as Rachel Ashley, who is the, well, it's kind of hard to talk about. The plot is very convoluted. Sam Claflin plays a guy named Philip, who, as a young boy, was orphaned, and he was adopted by a man who was a confirmed bachelor. And this man eventually goes away for an extended trip to Italy, and he meets a woman who is his cousin, who was a widow at the time. Her name is Rachel, and he falls in love with her, and they get married. And he's writing all these letters back to his adopted son, telling him about this woman and about their life together. And at first the letters are happy and positive, but then they soon become a little bit dark and suspicious because the man is becoming ill. He becomes convinced that Rachel is trying to poison him, right? She's actually killing him. Well, the man does die. Philip goes to Italy to investigate what happens, and when he comes back, he finds out that cousin Rachel has followed him to England. Well, he first is very mistrustful of her, but as he gets to know her, he's just entranced by her. He falls in love with her, this woman who's a little bit older than he is, and he just is totally smitten. And he ends up giving her most of his fortune because he wants to help her and support her. Well, he finds out that her feelings for him are not nearly as deep as his feelings for her, and as that goes on, he begins to once again be suspicious of her, that she is not only responsible for his adoptive father's death, but that she is also poisoning him because he's having health problems. So the story gets very, very dark and very, very dramatic. And it's beautifully done, beautifully acted by both of these people and everybody else involved. They're all British players that I don't know anything about, so saying their names probably wouldn't mean much to most of you. I don't know. But it was filmed on location in England and in Italy, and it, as I said, beautiful to look at, a very literate story, and has an ending that will just kind of blow you away. And if you've never read the novel, which I haven't, and I never saw the original version, which I would like to see now, but it may be a complete surprise, all the revelations that come out in the movie. So yeah, highly recommended, My Cousin Rachel. And my number one film for 2017 is the only one that I own on home video, and that is A Ghost Story. A Ghost Story, which of course I talked about before in a video that I did few months ago where I had a white sheet on my head, just like the ghost on the cover here. Terrific movie. I just absolutely love this movie. This is written and directed by a guy named David Lowery. It stars, yeah, here I am forgetting all these people. Casey Affleck. Casey Affleck and Rooney Mara as his wife. Okay, they don't have any names in the film. It's just the man and the woman, and so these people are living together. They seem to be very happy and very in love. They're renting this ranch house. I believe it's in Texas, and they get into this little conflict where the wife wants to move to a different place, and the man is very attached to the house. Well, that's just kind of a part of the dramatic point in the story. Very soon after that, the man is killed in a car accident very close to the house, and we see the wife at the morgue, right? And she's looking down at his body. She's left alone with his body, which is laying on a slab covered by a white sheet, and she's saying goodbye to her husband. And then she pulls the sheet over his head, and then she leaves. Well, the camera stays fixed on the shot in the morgue for a long time, and then all of a sudden the body rises up, and the sheet is still over the guy's head, and there are holes where the eyes are, and he gets up and he walks away. Well, so he goes back to the house to basically be where he remembered that he lived, and he is watching his wife grieve. So the story goes on from there. It goes into some very strange directions, trips through time and space, a lot of sort of existential ideas thrown around in the midst of a lot of silence. And I don't want to give too much away because I know a lot of people probably still haven't seen this movie, and I would like to recommend that you do. I just loved it. It was one of the most, well, it was, of all the new films that I saw in 2017 that were released that year, this is probably the most mystical experience that I had. It was wonderful. And I bought this shortly after the DVD was released. Actually, this is a Blu-ray, and I still haven't watched it at home. And in a way, I'm afraid to, because my feeling of seeing it in the theater is still very much with me. And it's so powerful, it's so strong, and I don't want to do anything to disturb that feeling. I'm kind of afraid that if I watch it at home on a smaller screen, that I will be disappointed, and maybe that feeling will change or it will go away. Which I suppose is kind of silly, but eventually I will get around to watching this. But right now, the memory of a ghost story is so wonderful that I don't want to give it up. I don't want to give it up. So that may sound a little bit crazy, but hey, you guys know me, don't you? So, all right. So those are my top 5 films of 2017. Coming up, I'm going to do a top 10 maybe of the film retrospectives that I saw in the theater this past year, and I also might do another one, my top 10 maybe, or top 15 discoveries that I made on home video. Okay, so all right, stay tuned, don't change the channel, and let me know what you think. Good night.